Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Paranormal Question of the Day, Friday Early Edition. We'll be right back right after this short intro. And we are back. So, hopefully everybody's having a good Friday. I know I am having a good Friday. I actually got done with work early today, so I'm happy about that. Tomorrow, we're having an investigation at the cemetery in Plainfield. Sorry. And then we're going to a schoolhouse, and then to the Washoe County Historical Museum. Hey, Lori, how you doing? Nice to see you here. Hopefully you're having a good Friday. And so yeah, tomorrow's going to be a fun day, fun afternoon. So hopefully you all can come out and about and watch the live feed. And so with that, who knows? Maybe tonight I might have a surprise investigation. We'll see. Let's see if the weather cooperates. I have a couple places I thought we might be able to go to later on tonight, but the weather's going to be there. It's going to be colder than shit tomorrow, so expect to probably see somebody in Long John's tomorrow at the cemetery. So, but needless to say, the investigation must go on. So, let's see if I get my notes here. All right, so today's mystery question of the day. Here we go. So, what do you think about this one? Yeah, it is what it says. So, do you think of all the horror movies that you've seen and the directors that make these horror movies, do you think they can handle an actual paranormal investigation? So this is kind of like a different point of view, taken from, us investigators to the directors that make these things. And, how gory they get with these things. And Lori says, no, they couldn't. Hey, Becky, how you doing? So why do you think these directors could not handle a regular, original paranormal investigation? I personally think that the ones that make the most goriest film and can handle all that gore and all that stuff, I think they could in some ways. Because if they're able to make a film that strong and that gory, I think they could. So, but I'm thinking like Stephen King. His movies are not, they can't handle the outcome. And that could be true. That could be very true, that they couldn't handle the outcome because they think of these things in their mind and they put it to film. But when it's actually right in front of them, things are different because now they got to figure out why it's doing what it's doing. Yes, they know it's fake and all that stuff. So, and we know it's fake on film too. And that's why I was actually putting off this question because I wasn't quite sure how to present this question, and that's why I kind of kept it as like a mystery question of the day. And it's just like Stephen King or the guys that have since passed. I think that they could not handle that very well. Hey, Carmen, how you doing? All right, no problem. You could definitely catch it on the replay. Always on Facebook on replay. You get the groundhog effect, or Groundhog Day, I should say Groundhog Day. Um, anyway, so yeah, I think Stephen King and people that make those mild kind of horror movies, but to make you think, in actuality, I don't think they could handle it. In fact, I believe some of the books that actually that Stephen King was writing, he was high off his ass. I think he has talked about being on cocaine, writing these books. So maybe he has to be on cocaine to do a paranormal investigation. But here's the thing: we don't allow people on drugs in our investigations. So he'd be lost for words, to say the least. So yeah, I mean, like let's see, the person who made Saw. So the way how Saw goes, Saw just gets very, very graphic, very gory. It's a mind tease, you know. I personally think that guy could handle a paranormal investigation. I really could. I don't think he'd be scared of the outcome. I think he would probably be drawn closer to it and give him some ideas, you know. The same thing when it comes to like what's another gory one, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think his name is Toby Hooper or something like that. Now reckon I don't know if he's still alive or not, but you know, I think he probably could. But you know, in the same instance too, the way how these movies are, like we got The Conjuring, we have Paranormal Activity and stuff like that. You know, no, they make those movies based on paranormal events. You know, hi Amy, how you doing? So you know, and so they know what the paces are of doing paranormal investigations. You know, I'm sure they studied it, watched people do it, and stuff like that. But it would be kind of interesting to see the ones that make the goriest ones. You know, if they actually go on a paranormal investigation, what other ideas can come out of their heads? You know, I think the possibility could be endless. You know, they could make something out of nothing, obviously, and the smallest little details could be blown away proportion. You know what I mean? So I think with those guys there, I think they could do it and make a pretty darn good movie to put out there for the paranormal field. So that's kind of my, you know, that's how I feel about things a little bit. So, but now it's up to you in the chat room. Like, you know, Becky and Laura, you both said that you don't think they could handle the paranormal aspect of things and going on an investigation. So we got Amy and Carmen, which Carmen is at work. So Amy, what do you think? Do you think the Hollywood directors that make these horror movies, like Scream and you know, The Shining and all that stuff, like, do you think they could handle an actual paranormal investigation? What do you think, Amy? I haven't done one of these in a long time. I mean, I have plenty more questions out there, but you know, you know me. I like to interview people a lot more. So, but yeah, I wanted to do this again for a little bit and get some more different questions out there and see how you feel about these questions. Wait for Amy to type in her answer if she's still in chat. Paranormal investigations are on a different level. And I agree. They are on a different level versus the movies, because we all know the movies are fake. And they know they're fake. Like Becky has mentioned before, that they know they're fake. So, and like I was saying before, the ones that make the goriest kind of horror movies, I feel they could, but the ones that are the tame and mild and more thinking type of movies, I don't think they could. I think that they would be scared shitless if something that were to happen in front of them. That they don't have the camera work. They don't have that protection, so to speak, because they don't know what to do. They don't know what to make of it. I think there was a show a long time ago on MTV where they would have these people go through I think a haunted location. I want to say, I think it was called Fear or something like that, Fear Factory or some show like that, and to test to see how far they can go with fear and all that stuff. And I think that would play into it a lot with these directors. But the ones that come with, do the gory movies, I think they could have a different swing on things. Missed the question of the day. So the question of the day, here, I'll get it back up. How you doing, Kat? So here's the question of the day. Do you think that the Hollywood directors that make horror movies, do you think they could handle paranormal investigations? That is the question of the day. So, give you a little time there to think about that, Kat. I think you'll have a different feel on things. Now, like I stated with Becky and Lori before, it would be educational yes, it would be educational. I think it would be educational, and they could probably make a pretty cool horror movie out of it, especially the locations that we go to. Absolutely. Hey, Jing, how you doing? Welcome to the program. She's from Indonesia. And hey, Robert. How you doing, Robert? Why not? I think, like I said, there's some that are tame. There are the tame directors that make the tame kind of horror movies that they have, the trilogies and stuff like that because, they like how they go. And, they get famous off of all that stuff. I think that those kinds of type of directors, I don't think they could handle one. But I think the ones that do like Saw or Insidious or other various like Terrifier, for instance, I think that they could handle it. They would have to set detail inspiration. Yep. I feel, yeah. Detail inspiration is right. Because you got the locations, what goes on in the locations. I'm sure they would set, oh, okay, we could do this. We could film this like in this location, but how could we make it into a twist? We know what's going on in this location, but how can we twist that in a movie form to possibly make it darker, to make it, could make it into a trilogy, It'd be kind of interesting if they could take one of these locations that we go and investigate and make it into like a trilogy or something like that. It only takes one character, and Scream is a character that has multiple trilogies. Same thing with Michael Myers and Halloween, Friday the 13th with Jason. And those are very well trademarked trilogies. And to like say, like Cat. Let's take Edinburgh for example. What kind of like now if you were in the director's mind, okay, what kind of character would you implement into, let's say, Edinburgh Manor? What kind of character would you put in there to make it stay original, but kind of have a different kind of character versus like Michael Myers and oh, okay. So the paranormal question of the day is Hollywood directors. They make these horror movies and whatnot, and you wonder if they themselves can handle a paranormal investigation. They get so deep into their movies, or gory, classic, tame, that genre of horror movies. Do you think they can handle a real paranormal investigation? I think the ones that are tame could not. I think the ones that are more active and grotesque and, movies go crazy, I think they could. Well, yeah. And they feel a lot of these shows that, they get to the hot spots right away and make it to an hour program when they're actually in a location for 2 to 3 days and they scale it down. Right. And you're right, Robert. They would have to make it more interesting because, some of these locations that we go to, um, you know, they may not look at it the same like we do. I find every location I go to very exciting and interesting and wanting to know the history and all that stuff. But do you think the directors want to know the same thing? You know, um, like I said, I'm using Edward Manor as an example. I mean, it's a cool looking place. It's got that character outside. It's got the character inside. But the thing is how could they flip that in a horror movie? And what kind of character would they use in that kind of setting? You know, and I think that's something that they would get inspiration for when they go on paranormal investigations. Is that okay? I see how this place is, and it starts getting their mind thinking. And this is where we can get the originality of new horror movies that could come out there, that could get trilogies going, that could get, the next big thing in the horror industry. And you can see that sometimes the horror industry can be boring a little bit because they grasp onto the same thing over and over and don't change things much. We all look for that next character that's gonna scare the crap out of us. Simple horror like Paranormal House. How do I rephrase this? Like Paranormal Activity. Okay, they've had like 5 of those, right? Now take that and spin it, make it different. I love the paranormal movies. I watch all the Conjurings and stuff like that. I think those are fantastic because it's showcasing the life of Ed and Lorraine Warren, and that's very intriguing for me, and the locations that they go to. But the guy that makes that, okay, I see you made it. Now let's see you go through a paranormal investigation. How long can you last? You know, I think it'd be fun. It'd be comical, to say the least. I would love to see what Stephen King would do on a paranormal investigation. If he would say, "Oh shit, I need to jump to my weed. Hold on for a second," you know, calm his brain down. Character would be the victim at the same time. And that's the thing. Can they handle it? Will they freak out? I mean, you've heard of some movies have problem on sets because of paranormal things. And, it's not said a lot. They don't mention it, but there are weird things that happen on set. And, it's one of those things. That's what I wonder sometimes. You get halfway through the movie, you're scared shitless on this movie because it's got you. You're at the edge of your seat. And what is he thinking? What is he thinking of? What are ideas that, as he gets to halfway through that movie, is he already planning the next movie to come out? Is there something about this movie that triggers the next idea for the different movie? And, location, right? So, but that's pretty much what I have on mind for today's mystery question. Like I said before, I was pretty. I've had this question in my paranormal question of the day list for quite some time. I stalled and hesitated on putting this on here, but I thought, you know what? Why not today? Just do it today. Get it out of the way. Make it a mystery question, and just see what you guys think of stuff like this. Do you think of stuff like this? If you were in the director's shoes, what would you do? What movie would you make out of that? Or show, say the least. But, yeah, that's kind of my thought for today. It's just random thoughts. I do have plenty more questions that are out there that I haven't asked yet. And they're not this sort of type of question. They're more paranormal related type of questions, but I thought this would be kind of a fun one today. It's Friday, why not? Plus, I really haven't done one of these in a while. A lot of my shows have been with guests and stuff like that because I like interviewing people. I do that best. So, and yeah, it's pretty much what I got today. So, other than that, let me know what you guys think. And for those of you that are new to the network, I thank you for coming on. If you're not in chat, we are on Paranormal Brew and BB3 TV. Also, we are on MGS Paranormal YouTube channel. And also, I forget that I just added my MGS Paranormal or MGS Midwest Ghost Seekers Facebook pages as well. So if you could go to all four of those locations, that's where we are. It's all at the same time. So other than that, it's kind of that kind of question day. But so tomorrow, like I said earlier on in the video, tomorrow we are going to be at the Plainview Cemetery, and we're going to be going live. We're going to try some different techniques and experiments out there. We're going to try a dual Spirit Talker session and see if we can get the same stuff on the Spirit Talker or if we get different stuff. So, Robert, you might like that one. What else are we going to do? We might pull out something else out at the cemetery, but we're only going to be there for probably about an hour. It's going to be quite chilly tomorrow. It's going to be about 32 degrees, I believe, tomorrow. Maybe 36 or something like that. It's going to be cold. So, awesome. And so definitely do that. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see what kind of different ideas they can get out of it because we all know that we want different ideas for horror movies. They all get to be the same, and the same gets boring. But then again, we also rewatched the classics like The Exorcist, which is going to be redone next year. Hey Tom, how you doing? The classics get over and over and over and over and redone. The Exorcism is going to be remade for the first time next year, I believe. So I'm kind of curious of how they're going to remake the original. So is it going to be stupid or are they going to make it enjoyable? I don't know. And The Exorcist is a good movie. I just hope it doesn't tarnish The Exorcist, you know? And so, yeah, I mean, there's so many ideas out there they could get from paranormal locations and going on a paranormal investigation and get the POV of paranormal investigating. You know, slap a a GoPro on their head and go with it. That would be an interesting movie, first person point of view. You know, instead of being behind the camera, you are the camera. You know, that and that's the thing. Being creative is hard for these directors. I think it's because they're in one mode. They see what others are doing and they try to mimic what others are doing, but in a twist of a different kind of a horror movie. But it's the same. So I don't know if you've seen Terrifier or Terrifier 2. Uh, I watched one. I won't watch two. I seen glimpses of two, and I don't care for it. I'm not a big nasty horror kind of stuff. I Some of those I have a hard time watching. Even Saw, I got to like number three in Saw. I couldn't watch it no more. It just made me sick. So, originality. That's what's missing. Originality. And newer people in the director field. I hope they see this problem. And identify it and make something different. And there are some weird ones out there that I'm gonna tell you I will never watch them ever again either. Like the movie X. No, I ain't gonna watch the movie X ever again. That was straight up awful. Nope. That's another movie. That's different. It looks like a big giant butthole go flying through the air and sucking people off the ground. Weird. It's just weird shit. But a lot of people liked it, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. I want to see more things geared to the paranormal. I want to see how they can react to it. Maybe that could just be a movie with have the director be the star in his own movie and go through a paranormal investigation. Like I said, slap the GoPro on his head and go ahead with it. See how they can do their own acting. They have actors direct, so direct your own movie. Be a part of your own movie. Yes, I agree with that, Robert. 100%. That was the first time I think that something like that. There might have been one other movie besides that one, but I think that's the first one that got really popular and made a lot of money doing like that. Just filming with a camcorder and going. Not have this big film crew and changing things up and stuff like that. They made it look real. It scared the shit out of me. I can tell you that. That one caused me actually to have. That one gave me a lot of stress. Actually, it actually brought on the old hag syndrome when I was still living at my parents' house. Which, many of you might know about the old hag syndrome. Yeah, that was mind blowing. Paranormal Activity, same thing. Shot in the same kind of format, but it was a lot more cleaner. So, but yeah, I want to see what the next 5 years is going to be like in horror movies, if they can adjust and make something different, put themselves in the role. How often do you see a director get scared on camera? Not very often, and mean it. So, like I said before, we are going to go to Ed Gein's cemetery tomorrow. That'll be interesting to see what we can get out of it. And then we're going to go to a schoolhouse. Ah, there you go. Believe it or not. Interesting. Well, hopefully that goes well for you when you go hiking. And don't get lost. Make sure you have plenty of sage with you. You might want to bring some holy water with you. And get it blessed. Just get it blessed too. Watch out for Bigfoot. But let's see what else. We're going to go to a one-room schoolhouse after the cemetery. So both locations will be in there for about an hour. And then I'd say by 2:15, depending on how traffic gets, we'll be heading to the Washoe County Historical Museum. And we'll be there from 2 or 2:15 till about 8 o'clock. So it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. I'm going to try lots of different experiments. I'm going to do the balloon experiment that I did at Broadhead. I'm going to do that at the museum. Because I think I can get it to work. There's a lot of... don't get me wrong. Broadhead has a lot of child spirits too. But they gotta warm up to you. They gotta get to know you a little bit more and stuff like that. So I've been to the museum a little bit more, and so I think they can recognize me a little bit more because of being there. So the balloon effect might happen. I'm hoping it will. We'll put it in the children's room and see how that goes from there. I think that would be the best result. But you never know. I might put it in the attic as well. The attic is the very, very hot spot of the building. Oh. Hey, Laura, how you doing? Hopefully you got your voice back. And so, yeah, I think the attic is going to be off the hook. It takes about 20 minutes of time of ramping up in the attic, but after about 20, because that's the formula that I have noticed. So I think after 20 minutes, things will start ramping up a little bit more, and we'll get some great results. Yes, the attic is awesome. Hey, Scott, how you doing? So we're going to try some different things. And, well, I got you on here, Scott. Why don't you post some of the things that you want to do during tomorrow's investigation? By the way, Scott Bowser is on the Midwest Ghost Seekers team. He's our historian and paranormal investigator. Awesome guy. So tomorrow, I'll go as live as much as I can, as long as my camera allows it. Yes. We'll try the SLS and the new recorder. How you like the new recorder? Have you tested that out yet? I haven't talked to you about that in a while. I know you tested out the Tascam that we won't talk about because we both hate it. I just kept mine in case one of mine break. But the SLS will be a good thing for me to learn tomorrow. I've watched a little bit of it, but not much. Yeah, see, I didn't lead you wrong there. Hopefully you have it in interview mode, because that's the way how I have mine. It's in interview mode. I mean, I have caught so many Class A EVPs with that recorder. It's unreal. I mean, and it's easy to listen to, playback. The Tascam is a little easy too, but there's so much goddamn interference with it. That's what pisses me off with it. The cell phone towers or whatever it is that's causing interference. That's why I hate it. Yeah, we're gonna freeze. Yes, bring your lawn johns there, sir. Hey, Tony, how you doing? Yeah, so the balloon experiment is I'm gonna have them on tripods. Okay, I'm only gonna use two, and they're clear balloons. Thanks for coming in. I greatly appreciate new faces in here. I'm on Mondays and Fridays mostly, and then I also do when I go on live investigations, I'll be live too. So the balloon experiment is, I have two balloons, clear balloons, or white balloons, whichever works better. I think we have white ones. And then I put lights in them, so they're motion activated lights. So if like a spirit brushes past them, one of the lights will go off, or they both go off. And so I'm hoping that the idea is to see if we can ask questions and say, hey, move the right balloon or move the left balloon to the question that we ask, or just specifically ask them to move a balloon to get the light to move and light up. The other thing too is if they want to pop it, let them pop the balloon. I'm okay with that. I got more in the bag, so so that's kind of the experiment I'm hoping to get to work. It just depends on how much energy is there and willing to move it. There was a similar experiment on Destination Fear they did at a location, but it was only done once, and that's the only time I've seen it. So I want to expand on that and bring it more to light. All right, Robert, you have a good rest of your afternoon and great weekend. Thanks for stopping in. So yeah, I just want to expand on the balloon a little bit more. I want to see something different. I don't ever see that in Paranormal Live feeds. So I'm one of those guys that do different things. So yeah, you could. But the number one rule is not to investigate your own house, though. That's the paranormal rule. But if you feel comfortable enough to do it and not set anything else off, you're more welcome to try it. I mean, but that's just a standard rule in the paranormal field. You just don't investigate your own house. But the so yeah, that's one of the experiments. And then, like I was saying to Scott before, we're gonna try we're gonna do a dual Spirit Talker app experiment. So if you don't know what Spirit Talker is, it's like a $4 app on your iPhone or Android phone, and it's an excellent Spirit Box app. It has a word base that is saved, and you can analyze it later on. Each location I've been to, it has not led me wrong. And I'm just kind of curious as to in a cemetery, like if we come up with the same words at the same time, or are they different words, and how much does it pertain to the location? So I think that would be a really cool experiment. He's gonna have the SLS going, so we'll get to see some of the stick figures in the room in the attic, and wherever else he wants to try and use it. And I'm kind of on the fence a little bit, the SLS a little bit. And the main reason is kind of I really don't know how to use it appropriately. So, and so this is tomorrow will be a good day to learn how to use it. So, okay. Oh, all right. So you're just learning about your house now. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun investigation. I can't wait. I'll be live. It'll be live on the. Yeah, like I said, it's something that I haven't seen much of. I've seen it on TV a lot. Granted, that's TV though. That's para entertainment. Um, but it's actually seeing it in front of me, and being explained how it works and why it does what it does will be very interesting because I like learning about new gadgets and new ways of the paranormal that we can catch on whichever gadget we can use. So that'll be a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. I'm primary to my recorders. I use a FLIR, which is a thermal camera that I put on my phone, and we've had quite a bit of success with that at Broadhead. So I like that quite a bit. What else? What else do I have? There's a lot of tools I have that I like to use, but I also like to think outside the box as much as possible. Um, I don't want to imitate a lot of things that other people have done. I think that gets old and redundant. But yeah, we'll see what we come across with, and our medium that we have on our team, we're going to try and do kind of like speak to a spirit, as like have a conversation instead of having the spirit box on. We'll have the spirit box off, and map balls, videos. Okay, yeah, I can understand that. So with the medium that we have, we're not going to use a spirit box. What we're going to try and do is that have spirit communicate with her, and then have them run through her, and then we can start a discussion just with her and the spirit. So I like that idea. I've gone through that with many other people, many other psychics, and it's a fun thing to do. I don't care for all the the white noise, pink noise, and stuff like that. Spirit boxes. So if I can get a conversation through a medium or a psychic and stuff like that, that I find very fascinating. The other things I like to use, Tanya, that you're new here, I like to use plasma balls, and I like to use Tesla coils. Yep, digital voice recorder. Yep, and senses. Yep, sense deprivation. Yep. Um Yeah, a deprivation tank would be interesting. To see how that goes sometimes. I know they've done it on the new show, the 28 Days Haunted. They do a he lays in water type deal with salt. So that was Shane Pittman that did that. It's a very interesting concept. So other than that, it's been a great afternoon, great chats with everybody. These are things I like. So other than that, if anyone doesn't have anything else, I think we'll start wrapping this up today. And yeah, excellent show today. I love all the interaction. Greatly appreciate y'all coming in. Oops, what do I do with my phone here? All right. Hey, JB Lynn, how you doing? That's all right. That's all right. I'm usually on later in the day. Nice to meet you too, Tanya. Yeah, normally sometimes I have interviews on Fridays and Mondays, mostly Mondays, but when I have these type of questions where I'm just doing questions of the day, I'll come on early, like at 2 o'clock during school season, and then after when school season's out, then I'll do it at 3 o'clock. And Mondays are at 8 p.m. and we'll have guests on there. And then if they can't make it on a Monday, but want to do a Friday, then Lori, yes, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Then I'll switch it to a Friday to have an interview on at 7. So Mondays at 8, and then interviews on Friday at 7. And then questions out of the blue like this today will be at 2. Oh, yeah, that's right. You have COVID. Absolutely, yeah. You can always rewatch me and rewind, and that way if you miss something, you can back up and catch it. Hopefully, you get over COVID soon. And yeah, so that's kind of what this show is all about. It's about you, the audience, getting involved in chat room, meeting the guests, or having questions like this, because you and the audience, you're the star of these shows, because without your questions and comments and stuff, then this show wouldn't work. So that's why I do these things and interview people too, because then people get to know you and your questions and what you're thinking, and maybe help you with a situation that you got going on at your own place. So that's why I do this. So also Monday. Now, coming Monday, I have an interview with Mr. Bill Davis. So he's a really cool guy. He's got a lot of neat gadgets. Been in the paranormal field for quite some time. So that will be a very fun interview. So stay tuned for that at 8 o'clock with me and Taryn. Taryn Kerper is my co-host on Mondays. So, and she gets on Fridays sometimes too. So with that, like I said, you have been watching the Paranormal Brew and BB3 TV networks. Also, I have it on my MGS Midwest Ghost Seekers YouTube channel, YouTube channel for MGS Paranormal. Midwest Ghost Seekers on Facebook. Now I just added, so now I'm getting myself mixed up. So, it's always good. So with that, no problem. So with that, for all you have a great afternoon, great weekend. Pop on during the live tomorrow, and I bid you adieu. So long, everybody.